It sucks having to put off playing video games to finish your homework, but what if your homework was playing video games, dude? Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 video games they should let you play in school. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at games that aren't typically considered educational, but are well-made products that, either through innovative gameplay or interesting narratives, have something that everyone can learn from. These are games that belong in the classroom just as much as any classic novel or film.
Lives shattered. Love lost.
Number 10, The Witness. If you've ever needed a true test of your puzzle solving and deductive reasoning skills, your best bet is to end up on a mysterious uninhabited island filled with lying mazes and try to figure out what the heck is going on. That's basically The Witness in a nutshell, a puzzle adventure game boasting over 600 brain-busting puzzles. It's a game that turns learning itself into a major focal point, requiring the player to revisit puzzles once they've learned enough to figure them out. It's beautiful, brainy, and big, so you can get lost in it for hours. Number 9, Spore. Video games can often come pretty close to letting you play God, but Spore kicks it up a notch. From the creators of The Sims, Spore is a game that gives you control over life itself, from conception to evolution to death. It's a crash course in biology, tasking the player with creating bizarre living organisms and helping them along with their evolution, taking them from itty-bitty microscopic creatures to space-faring intelligent beings with hundreds of eyeballs and feet for hands, if you so choose. It's a game that requires creativity, strategy, and a healthy interest in science, plus it's a whole lot of fun. Number 8, Never Alone. Known as Kisima Initchuna in the language of the Inuit people, Never Alone combines classic 2D platforming with beautiful indigenous folklore, presenting gamers with a familiar gameplay experience against a new, refreshing backdrop that highlights a culture so rarely explored in mainstream fiction. Aside from the enchanting storyline, it includes a number of documentary-like videos featuring cultural insights into the lives of the Inupiaq people, making it a rich learning experience that just so happens to play like Super Mario. Plus, you get an adorable Arctic fox as a companion. Win-win. Number 7, SimCity series. What better class project is there than to entrust your students with the fate of a city and then ask them to keep it from falling into economic ruin? Thankfully, Maxis's hit simulation series lets you do just that without causing any actual harm to actual cities. SimCity set the standard for simulation games in the 90s, and even today it's a fun and powerful tool for teaching lessons in city planning, urban development, and resource management. It'll also probably teach you how to keep you safe during an alien invasion, so you got all your bases covered, really. Number 6, Papers, Please. Gamers love to talk about games that offer choices that actually matter, air quotes. Well, there's no better game to explore that concept than Papers, Please, a game that puts you in the tough position of being an immigration inspector who has to make tough ethical decisions regarding the families whose lives are put in your hands. Besides teaching some hard lessons in ethics, it's perhaps best at instilling a sense of empathy in the player. Papers, Please is politically relevant, ethically intriguing, and will stay with you for a long time to come. Number 5, That Dragon Cancer.
Hey, it's you again. I love you, my friend.
There are some lessons that just aren't part of one's everyday curriculum. Learning to navigate grief in the wake of a tragedy is an incredibly valuable life lesson, and one that's pretty hard to impart. And that's where video games come in, actually. That Dragon Cancer is an immersive exploration and adventure game that puts the player through some of the emotional highs and lows that come from losing a loved one to cancer. It's emotional, poignant, beautiful, and does exactly what a good piece of literature in the classroom should do. Expands the reader's worldview and teaches them to empathize with the darkest of tragedies.
The big is me. The big ones is for me. A little ones is for my dog.
Number 4, The Stanley Parable.
What a gorgeous Good.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
The Stanley Parable is a unique game, and it's so novel that it's already no stranger to classrooms, actually. The titular Stanley gets up from his desk one day to find that his office building has been abandoned, and the player's only companion is a narrator whose trustworthiness is questionable at best.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
You're able to either follow the narrator's instructions or act on your own choices, as the game and its many endings explore questions of free will and agency. Plus, it does a fantastic job of questioning the role that a narrator plays in the story.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Number 3, Minecraft. It's less of a game and more of a phenomenon at this point. The open sandbox world of Minecraft is so open that it can be used for just about anything, from building sprawling cities to crafting elaborate battle arenas. In a game that essentially gives you unlimited virtual Lego pieces to play and build with, it's no surprise that this game is a huge hit in classrooms. Learning to build with your fellow classmates is a great experience in collaboration, and building some of the crazier things in the game can help you teach the basics of engineering. And by the way, it's a whole lot of fun too. Number 2, Valiant Hearts: The Great War.
A soldier sent far from home and torn from their loved ones.
Game writers could spend hours coming up with intricate plots for our video games, but sometimes the best stories are ripped straight from the history books. Valiant Hearts was inspired by letters written during the First World War and takes that inspiration and turns it into a beautiful puzzle adventure game that explores the terrors of war. It's dramatic and emotional, but it's also well-researched and accessible, which makes it a perfect example of a game that is as fun as it is impactful. Valiant Hearts is a narrative gem that would make a great addition to any history lesson.
Sacrificing everything, even their own life.
Number 1, Civilization series.
Libraries, universities, and research labs on your campuses will further increase their science output and allow you to assign your population to that tile.
Sure, SimCity gave you a taste of the power that comes with ruling over a city, but how would you like to seize control over an entire empire? Sid Meier's Civilization is, in many ways, the perfect video game for the classroom. The gist of the series is that you take control of a small, basic settlement, and over the course of centuries, turn it into a thriving civilization to tower over all others. It's a great learning tool when it comes to teaching how societies are built and what makes them thrive, and it's got roots in real-world history to boot. Whether expanding, exploring, exploiting, or exterminating, players have to use their brains to strategize appropriately and make sure their civilization comes out on top. And all of that puts Civilization at the top of our list. Well, teachers, what are you waiting for?
We rise to the challenge and become something greater than ourselves.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.